So you've been busting your butt all week, your nutrition's been on point, you've been working hard in the gym, you go to do your weekly check-in, you jump on the scale, and it shows you're up. It's not working, right? Maybe not. Maybe so. What's happening, guys? So today I want to talk about scale weight and the most accurate way, in my opinion, to track it and make sure that you're accounting for daily fluctuations, because as you probably know, weight fluctuates on a daily basis for many different reasons. Okay, you know, water weight, how much sodium you had, which for the record, sodium is not bad. You don't have to avoid sodium unless you were very sensitive to it. How much food is digesting in your stomach, changes in hormone levels, all these different little things will add up into different reasons as to why your body weight is going to fluctuate on a daily basis. There's just no way to avoid this. So the problem is a lot of people do like weekly weigh-ins, and when you do this, you're just getting one quick snapshot in time and then comparing it to another snapshot later in time, and you don't know if your weight's high or low for what it normally is. So in my opinion, you should be doing daily weigh-ins and then taking an average of those days and making that your accurate weight. So like for instance, when I was doing my cut in the beginning of the year, I remember there was a 2-week stretch where I'd actually lost a pretty significant amount of weight in terms of average, like I'm saying that you should do. But if you had just done the snapshot thing, or if I had done the snapshot thing, it would have actually shown a gain. So I lost like 1.5 pounds or a little over 1.5 pounds. I'll check. Actually, I can even post it. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. So what happened was the final day of the week, one week was abnormally low, and then the final day of the week, the next week was abnormally high. Now the average actually went down pretty significantly, but it actually showed like a 1/2 pound or maybe even a pound increase from one day, one week to one day the next week. Now, can you imagine, you think you're doing really well, and you see a 1 pound increase on the scale and you think, crap, it's not working. When in actuality, if you take the averages, it actually shows a nice significant drop. Okay, so it's just a much more accurate way to take an average of 7 days, call that your actual weight, and not worry about a single day weigh-in. This can actually help with kind of reducing the stress of a weigh-in too, because a lot of people freak out and they want to do well in a weigh-in, but there's just too many variables to it. So if you can understand that every time you step on that scale, it's just 1/7 of your weight and it means almost nothing, that can really help. Now, some people can never get past this. Some people stress way too much about the scale, and it ends up being too much. It's up to each individual, but if you can really get past the point of understanding that daily fluctuations in weight are going to happen, and that any increase or decrease you see on a daily basis is not body fat, it's just different things like I've already mentioned, it can really help you. I mean, I promise you, you're not gaining or losing 2 pounds of body fat in a day. It does not work like that. So that's just one way that you can really try to be as accurate as possible with body weight. Now, understand that body weight is far from the only sign of progress, okay? Especially the leaner you get, the less body weight really means. I mean, if you have 200 pounds to lose, of course, body weight is going to be a good indicator of things are going in the right direction. But the leaner you get, the less it means. But there's different ways to understand that there's signs of progress, okay? It's not just scale weight. It's one thing, and it doesn't mean nothing, but it doesn't mean everything either, okay? You know, how your clothes are fitting, how much stronger you're getting, you know, how your body is looking in the mirror, you know, your body composition, how you're feeling, which that's a very underrated sign of progress, okay? These are all signs of progress. They all have to be taken into account, and it's not just scale weight. Now, I'm not on the whole ditch the scale thing, all right? I think there's a use for it, but you just have to understand its purpose and what it means, and that it's not the only thing, and how to be most accurate with it. Okay, so it all kind of comes together. Now each person is individual, and some people just cannot handle that scale at all, and it just ruins their life and it makes them stop. And in that case, yeah, maybe not using the scale at all is the way to go, but it can be helpful if done in the right way. Now, last thing I want to mention is you want to control as many variables with your weigh-in as possible. So the best way to do this, in my opinion, is to wake up, take your scale weight after going to the bathroom, wearing the same clothes or nude every single day. You know, so that this way you have an empty stomach, you don't have to worry about food fluctuations as much. Now, how much you ate the night before, you know, makes a difference, but it doesn't mean that eating the night's bad. It just means you might have more food digestion in your stomach, which is fine. But this way you can control as many variables as possible, which is always going to give you the most accurate results. So that's just something to keep in mind. Don't freak out about little changes. Don't freak out that things aren't going right all the time, understand that even with this, that does not mean that scale weight is going to constantly go down in a linear style week to week, okay? That's not going to happen. It's going to be more accurate. You're probably going to see more of a trend that way, and over time, you should see it going down, but you're going to see ups and downs along the way. So it's going to happen. You just have to keep at it, keep going, track, be consistent, be diligent, and then when things aren't working over an extended period of time, then you can make some adjustments. But until you're being really accurate and honest with yourself, you really don't know what's going on and how to make changes. So anyway, that's all I had for this one. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to comment on the video and I will get back to you. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video.